It was a typical day on the alien world of Zarnoth, a planet that was home to many species, some humanoid, some not. It was a place where humans, like Adam, came to study and experience a new life, far from Earth. The university was located in the middle of the bustling city, a place where human students shared dormitories with aliens from different parts of the galaxy. Adam had always wanted to travel the stars. He had dreamed about it ever since he was a kid. Now, he was here, living. His dream, though, there was one small problem. His roommate, Lyra, was an alien from a race known for their intelligence and striking physical differences. The idea of living with an alien girl felt strange at first, but he was excited. The university had a strict policy. Students from different species had to live together, and Adam was no exception. When he first met Lyra, he was struck by her beauty. She had soft, glowing skin that shimmered under the light, and her eyes were an intense shade of violet. She had an air of mystery about her, and though she was friendly, there was something distant in her gaze. She seemed to be polite, but also kept to herself most of the time. In the first few days, Adam noticed that she was different from the other students. She had a quiet presence, and he could never get her to laugh or smile like the others. Most of the time, she spent her hours in the library, studying alien technology or reading about human culture. Adam, on the other hand, was a little more social, often meeting with his human friends, going out to the local market, and even trying the alien food. It wasn't until a few days later that he began to realize just how different Lyra really was. One evening, Adam returned to their shared dorm room after a long day of classes. He hadn't seen Lyra since morning, so he figured she was in the bathroom or out somewhere. He needed a shower, so he grabbed his towel and headed to the bathroom. Dormitory had shared bathrooms, one for the girls, one for the boys. Adam always tried to be quick and respectful, but that day he was tired and his mind was somewhere else. He pushed open the door to the shared bathroom, assuming it was empty, but just as he stepped inside, he froze. There she was. Lyra, standing under the warm, steamy water of the shower, her translucent skin glowing faintly in the soft light. She was unlike any other girl he had ever seen. Her body was long and lithe, with delicate, almost ethereal features. There were patterns of light running across her skin, bioluminescent designs that seemed to shimmer with every movement she made. She looked so graceful and yet so different from anything human. For a moment, Adam couldn't move. He stood there, rooted to the spot, not sure what to do. Lyra was completely unaware of him, her back turned as she washed her hair. The steam from the shower made her skin look even more luminous, and Adam couldn't help but feel like he had stepped into another world. Then, as if the world had snapped back into focus, Adam realized what had happened. He had walked in on Lyra while she was bathing. His face turned red with embarrassment. "Oh my God, I'm so sorry," he stammered, quickly backing out of the bathroom. His heart was racing. He could hear the sound of water running, and he wasn't sure if he should leave or wait. He stood there outside the door for a long moment, unsure of what to do next. His mind was swirling with thoughts. What did he just see? Why hadn't he knocked first? Was Lyra angry? Would she even want to talk to him again? After what felt like an eternity, the sound of the water stopped. Adam heard the bathroom door open slowly, and there she stood, Lyra, wrapped in a towel, her face unreadable. Her skin still shimmered faintly, and her violet eyes seemed to pierce right through him. I didn't mean to," Adam started, his voice shaky. Lyra's expression softened. "It's fine, Adam. Don't worry about it." Adam couldn't believe how calm she sounded. "I didn't see anything, I swear, I didn't mean to." "I know," Lyra interrupted him, her voice gentle. "It's okay." But even though she said it was okay, Adam could tell she was uncomfortable. She was quiet, almost too quiet, as if she was trying to hide something behind her calm exterior. "I'll just go," Adam mumbled, his face still flushed. "I'll go back to the room." Lyra nodded, not saying a word, and Adam quickly retreated to their room, his mind racing. He couldn't stop thinking about what he had just seen. He'd never seen anything like it before. Lyra's body was so different from any human's. Her glowing skin, her delicate features, the way she moved. It was all so mesmerizing. But it wasn't just that. It was the way she had responded to the situation, calm, composed, like nothing had happened. As he sat on his bed, he felt a strange mix of emotions. He was fascinated, confused, and embarrassed all at once. How was he supposed to act now? He had seen something so personal, and yet Lyra didn't seem angry or upset. Maybe she was used to this. Maybe it was just something that didn't bother her. But one thing was clear. Adam knew he couldn't look at Lyra the same way again. Something about her was different now, and he wasn't sure how to deal with it. The next few days were awkward between them. Lyra continued to stay distant, and Adam found himself too embarrassed to approach her. Every time their eyes met, he felt a strange tension between them, but neither of them knew how to break the silence. In the back of his mind, Adam couldn't shake the thought that maybe Lyra wasn't just another alien. She was something far more complex than he had ever imagined. After the incident in the bathroom, things between Adam and Lyra became strained. The awkwardness lingered in the air, and neither of them knew how to address it. For Adam, it felt as though the distance between them had grown, even though they hadn't said a word about what had happened. The next morning, Adam woke up to find that Lyra was already gone. She was often the first one to leave for the university, heading to the library where she spent hours studying. She didn't say much when they crossed paths, only offering a quiet good morning before hurrying off. Adam, for his part, felt embarrassed to speak to her. The image of Lyra, glowing and graceful in the shower, seemed to replay in his mind every time they were in the same room. It wasn't like he had expected Lyra to be angry, but the silence between them was deafening. He wanted to talk to her, to clear the air, but he didn't know how. What if she was uncomfortable with him now? What if she regretted how they had started living together? A few days later, Adam found himself in the common room, sitting on a couch and looking through some notes for his upcoming classes. He was trying to focus, but his mind kept wandering. He hadn't seen Lyra much lately. She would leave early, in the morning, and return late at night, always locking herself in her room. Adam figured she needed space, and he respected that, but it was starting to feel like they were just two strangers living in the same apartment. It wasn't until one afternoon that things began to change. Adam was in the kitchen, making himself some lunch, when he heard a soft knock at the door. He hadn't expected anyone, and as he opened it, he was surprised to see Lyra standing there, her expression neutral. "Hi," she said quietly, her eyes glancing down at the floor. "Can we talk?" Adam's heart skipped a beat. He couldn't tell if it was a good or bad thing, but he stepped aside to let her in. Lyra walked in and sat down on the couch across from him. There was a moment of silence, the kind that felt heavy and uncomfortable. "I'm sorry," she said after a while, her voice softer than Adam expected. "I should have said something the other day. I know you didn't mean to walk in on me, but it was a little surprising." She paused. I wasn't ready for you to see me like that." Adam nodded, feeling a wave of guilt wash over him. I didn't know what to do. I didn't mean to make things weird. I should have knocked. I wasn't thinking." Lyra's expression softened, and she looked up at him, her violet eyes meeting his. "It's not just that," she said. "It's not about you, really. It's about how I feel about my own body. I'm not used to people seeing it. I don't like being looked at. And my people, well, we don't really show ourselves to others the way humans do." Adam sat down next to her, trying to understand. "But you're beautiful. There's nothing to be ashamed of." Lyra shifted slightly, her glowing skin catching the light from the window. She smiled faintly, but it didn't quite reach her eyes. "It's not about beauty, Adam. It's about the way we communicate. My people have bioluminescent patterns on our skin. They show our emotions, our thoughts. It's personal. It's like a part of our soul is visible to others." Adam listened carefully, trying to grasp what she was saying. He had noticed the patterns on her skin before, but he hadn't realized their significance. "So when I saw you, It wasn't just your body. It was a part of you, something very private, he asked. Lyra nodded. Yes, when humans look at us, it's not just about what we look like. It's about reading us, understanding us in ways that we don't always want to share. My people are reserved. We don't expose our feelings so openly, even though we have the ability to. That's why it's hard for me to be around humans. Sometimes, they see the glowing patterns and they want to interpret everything. Adam felt a deep sense of understanding. He had never thought about it that way. For him, seeing someone's skin wasn't such a big deal, but for Lyra, it was everything. I didn't know, Adam said quietly, feeling a mixture of sympathy and respect for her. I'm sorry if I made you feel uncomfortable. I didn't mean to. Lyra smiled again, though this time her smile seemed more genuine. It's not your fault, Adam. I should have explained earlier. I don't blame you. It's just, I've spent so long hiding parts of myself, even from those who are closest to me. It's hard to trust that people won't misunderstand. Adam nodded. I get it now. I really do. You don't have to explain yourself to me. I promise I'll respect your boundaries. I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable anymore. They both sat in silence for a moment, the weight of the conversation settling between them. Adam wasn't sure if Lyra completely believed him, but he knew he meant every word. He wanted to be a good roommate, a good friend, and he knew that meant being patient, understanding, and giving her the space she needed. Finally, Lyra broke the silence. Thank you for listening, she said softly. It means a lot. Adam smiled, relieved that they were talking again. No problem. I'm glad you told me. I think we'll be fine. Lyra stood up, smoothing her clothes. I'll go back to my room now. I didn't want us to keep pretending nothing happened. Adam stood up too, feeling more at ease than before. Yeah, I don't want that either. Let's start over, okay? Lyra nodded, her gaze softening. Okay. As she left the room, Adam felt a sense of hope. Maybe this awkward moment had been necessary. It felt like they were finally beginning to understand each other. He was starting to see Lyra for who she truly was, not just as an alien with glowing skin, but as a person with thoughts, feelings, and a past she carried with her. As Lyra closed the door behind her, Adam sat back down, a small smile on his face. Things weren't perfect, but they were getting better. After the conversation with Lyra, Adam felt a shift in the air between them. The tension, which had been thick and heavy, began to lift, and there was a new understanding starting to form. He still wasn't entirely sure what it meant to live with an alien girl, especially one as unique as Lyra, but at least now he knew he wasn't the only one struggling with the situation. Over the next few days, Adam made a conscious effort to spend more time with Lyra. He knew it wouldn't be easy for her, but he didn't want things to stay awkward. He started by asking her simple questions about her culture and her planet. He figured that by learning more about her, he could better understand why she had reacted the way she did. One evening, after their classes, Adam found Lyra sitting alone, in the common room, reading a book that looked more like a piece of alien technology than a normal novel. Her eyes were fixed on the page, and she didn't seem to notice Adam approach. Hey, Lyra, Adam said softly, sitting down across from her. Lyra looked up, a little surprised. Oh, hi, Adam. What's up? I was just wondering. Adam hesitated, unsure if she'd be open to talking again. Can you tell me more about your people? I mean, your culture, your history, things like that? Lyra set the book down and looked at him for a moment. There was a slight pause before she spoke, almost as if she were deciding whether or not to share. Finally, she nodded. Well, she started, our people are called the Elysians. We're from a planet called Elora, which is far from Earth. We're known for our intellect and our ability to connect with the universe in ways other species don't. Our bodies, as you've noticed, are a little different. The bioluminescent patterns you saw on my skin are actually a part of our communication. They show our emotions, thoughts, and even our state of mind. It's how we express what words can't. Adam listened carefully, fascinated by what she was saying. He had never imagined that something as simple as glowing skin could hold so much meaning. "So you use your skin to talk?" Adam asked, genuinely curious. Lyra nodded. "Yes, it's how we communicate when we're not speaking. Each pattern has a meaning. Some are simple, like showing happiness or anger, while others are more complex, representing deep thoughts or feelings. It's a way of connecting with one another, of understanding each other without needing words." "That's amazing," Adam said, his voice full of awe. "I've never heard anything like that." Lyra smiled a little, the faint glow of her skin shifting ever so slightly, showing a subtle pattern of contentment. "It's something we've always had, but it's not something we share easily. I've never shown my true patterns to anyone before, except for my family. It's very personal." Adam's mind raced as he processed everything she had just said. He realized that the glowing patterns weren't just a feature of her body. They were a part of who she was, a way for her to connect with others. It was a language, a form of communication that humans couldn't easily understand, and perhaps that was why she had been so reluctant to share it with him. "I think I understand a little better now," Adam said slowly. "But why don't you show them to anyone? I mean, you have this amazing ability and it seems like a beautiful way to communicate. Why hide it?" Lyra's expression grew more serious. "It's complicated. Not all species understand it the way you do. Some see it as strange or uncomfortable. Some even fear it. Humans, well, I don't know if you all fully grasp what it means to us. It's like opening yourself up in a way that makes you feel completely exposed. If you don't trust the person, if you're not sure how they'll react, it's terrifying." Adam thought about her words carefully. He realized that, just like with her appearance, Lyra had grown up in a world where her true self was often misunderstood. It wasn't just about how her body looked. It was about the way she had to hide her feelings, her thoughts, her very essence. "I think I get it now," Adam said, his voice soft. "It's not just your body that makes you different. It's everything about you, and you've had to keep it all inside because you don't know who you can trust." Lyra's violet eyes met his, and for the first time, Adam could see a flicker of vulnerability behind them. She had always been so distant, so guarded, but now he could see that her walls were slowly coming down. "You're right," Lyra said quietly. "I've had to hide a lot of myself. I didn't want to be seen as an alien, as someone who didn't belong. It's easier to keep people at a distance, to be the quiet one, the strange one, but I don't want to keep hiding anymore." Adam's heart went out to her. He could feel the weight of her words, the heaviness of the isolation she had lived with for so long. "I'm glad you're telling me all this," Adam said, his voice sincere, "and I promise I won't judge you. I don't care what your skin looks like or how you communicate. You're still Lyra, and that's what matters." Lyra smiled softly, and this time, her smile reached her eyes. The glow on her skin brightened, slightly a sign of her growing comfort. "Thank you, Adam," she said, her voice full of warmth. "That means a lot to me." As they sat there talking more about their cultures and experiences, Adam realized something. This wasn't just about understanding Lyra's alien nature. It was about understanding her as a person, as someone with her own hopes, fears, and dreams. And though they were from different worlds, they were starting to connect in ways Adam never thought possible. For the first time since moving in, Adam felt like he wasn't just sharing a room with an alien. He was sharing it with a friend, and that, he thought, was the most important thing of all. The days passed, and Adam found that his bond with Lyra was growing stronger. It wasn't the kind of friendship that happened overnight, but it was becoming real. They spent more time together, talking about their worlds, their histories, and their lives. Adam learned so much more about Lyra's culture, and in return, he shared stories of Earth, his experiences, and what life was like back home. But, despite their growing friendship, Lyra remained somewhat guarded. There were still parts of her past that she wasn't ready to share, parts of her life that she kept hidden away. Adam knew that it wasn't easy for her to open up, but he didn't want to push her. He was content with the small steps they were taking toward building trust. It was one evening after a long day of classes that Lyra invited Adam to join her for a special event. It wasn't something she had mentioned before, and Adam was curious. "I'm holding a ceremony tomorrow night," she said as they sat in the common room, her voice soft but serious. "It's a tradition in my culture. I'd like you to come." Adam was surprised. He hadn't expected Lyra to share something so personal, but he was honored that she trusted him enough to invite him. "Of course, I'd love to," he replied. "What kind of ceremony is it?" "It's called the Luminara," Lyra explained. "It's a ceremony where we connect with the energy of the universe. It's part of our spiritual practice, and it's very important to us. During the ceremony, we reveal our true patterns, the ones that communicate our deepest thoughts and feelings." Adam felt a knot form in his stomach. He wasn't sure if he was ready for such an intimate experience, but he didn't want to back out. This was a part of Lyra's world, something that meant a lot to her, and he wanted to understand her better. The next evening, Adam joined Lyra in the designated space, a quiet, dimly lit room on the university grounds, filled with soft cushions and intricate decorations. A few other Elysians were already there, dressed in flowing robes that shimmered like the stars. The air was thick with a peaceful energy, and Adam felt a sense of calm wash over him as he entered the room. Lyra was standing near the center, her body still glowing faintly in the low light. She had changed into traditional attire, an elegant gown made from delicate fabrics that shimmered in hues of blue and silver. Her bioluminescent patterns were already starting to appear on her skin, glowing softly like constellations across the night sky. Adam took a seat off to the side, feeling slightly out of place among the Elysians, who seemed so at peace in their surroundings. Lyra caught his eye and gave him a small smile before turning her attention to the others. The ceremony began with soft music, a melodic sound that seemed to vibrate through the very air. Lyra stood still for a moment, her eyes closed in concentration. Slowly, she raised her arms, and her bioluminescent patterns began to glow brighter, pulsating with each movement. Adam watched in awe, mesmerized by the beauty of the ceremony and the power of Lyra's display. As the patterns on her skin shifted, they seemed to tell a story of joy, sorrow, love, and fear. It was as though the patterns were speaking to him, revealing emotions that Lyra had kept hidden deep within. Adam felt a sudden, intense connection to her. He could see the depth of her emotions, her struggles, and her desires, all laid bare through the glowing patterns on her skin. The music grew louder, and the other Elysians joined in, each of them raising their arms and allowing their bioluminescent patterns to shine brightly. The room was filled with a breathtaking array of colors, each person's patterns telling their own unique story. It was a powerful moment, one that Adam would never forget. After a long silence, Lyra's patterns began to fade, and the music softened. She opened her eyes, and slowly lowered her arms, the glow of her skin dimming. She turned to face Adam, her eyes filled with a mixture of vulnerability and strength. "Thank you for being here," she said, her voice trembling slightly. This is something I've never shared with anyone before. It's a part of me that I've always kept hidden." Adam felt a lump form in his throat. "Lyra, that was incredible. I've never seen anything like it. Your people, your traditions are beautiful." Lyra smiled, though there was a trace of sadness in her expression. "You don't understand, Adam. For me, it's not just about the patterns. It's about showing the world who I truly am. I've never been able to do that before. I've always hidden myself, even from the ones I love. But tonight, I wanted to share that with you." Adam's heart swelled with emotion. He had always known there was more to Lyra than met the eye, but now he was beginning to understand just how much she had been carrying with her. The weight of her past, her struggles, and her need to hide her true self. It was all starting to make sense. "You've trusted me with something so important," Adam said, his voice sincere. "I'm honored. I'll never take that for granted, Lyra. You don't have to hide anything from me. I'm here and I'll always be here, no matter what. Lyra's eyes glistened with unshed tears and she nodded. Thank you, Adam. You don't know how much that means to me. For a moment there was silence between them, a comfortable, peaceful silence. Lyra had shared a piece of herself that she had never shown to anyone before, and Adam had accepted it without hesitation, without fear. In that moment he realized how far they had come, and how much further they could go together. As the ceremony ended, the Elysians slowly filed out of the room, leaving Adam and Lyra alone. The soft glow of Lyra's skin illuminated the space around them, casting a warm, gentle light. I'm glad you came, Lyra said, her voice soft but filled with gratitude. Me too, Adam replied. I'm glad you trusted me enough to share this with me. Lyra smiled, her patterns flickering softly in the dim light. It was a smile that told him everything he needed to know, that she was beginning to trust again, that she was no longer hiding the person she truly was. And in that moment Adam knew that their journey together had only just begun. After the ceremony, things between Adam and Lyra felt different. There was an unspoken understanding between them, a deeper connection that neither of them had expected. For the first time since they'd met, Adam felt like he truly understood Lyra, not just as an alien or a roommate, but as a person with hopes, fears, and a past she had worked so hard to hide. The next few days were peaceful, with both of them growing more comfortable in each other's presence. They shared more stories, laughed more often, and even worked on assignments together. Adam noticed that Lyra was more relaxed, her shoulders no longer tense when he was around. She had opened up to him in a way that she had never done with anyone else, and for that, Adam was grateful. One afternoon, as they sat together in the common room, Lyra looked at Adam with a thoughtful expression. You know, she said, breaking the silence. I've been thinking a lot about our talks, about trust, and about how I've been hiding parts of myself for so long. I never realized how much it weighed on me until now, and I don't want to keep hiding anymore. I want to be myself, not just for me, but for you too. Adam smiled, his heart warming at her words. Lyra, you don't have to hide anything from me. I've never asked you to be anything but yourself. I know, she replied softly. But it's not just about you. It's about me finally accepting who I am. I've spent so many years trying to fit in, trying to be someone I'm not, just to avoid being judged. But I don't want to live that way anymore. I'm done hiding. Adam nodded, understanding her pain. He could relate to the feeling of wanting to be accepted, of wanting to be seen for who you truly were. I think that's the first step, he said. You're already doing it. You're showing the world who you are, and you don't have to do it alone. I'll be here, every step of the way. Lyra smiled, her eyes softening as she looked at him. Thank you, Adam. I know it's not easy, but I feel like I can finally breathe. As the days passed, their friendship blossomed into something more. There was no rush, no pressure, just a natural progression of two people learning to trust each other. Lyra no longer felt the need to hide her true self, and Adam was there to support her no matter what. One evening, after finishing up their homework, Adam and Lyra decided to take a walk outside. The sky on Zarnoth was filled with stars, more than Adam had ever seen on Earth. It was a beautiful sight, and as they walked side by side, Adam felt a sense of peace he hadn't known in a long time. So, what's it like where you come from? Adam asked, breaking the silence. Lyra looked up at the sky, her face thoughtful. Elora is beautiful, in its own way. It's a world full of calm oceans, lush forests, and endless skies. But it's not just the land that makes it special. It's the way our people live, connected to nature, to the universe. We believe that everything is connected, and that by understanding that connection we can become more than just ourselves. Adam was captivated by the way Lyra spoke about her home. There was a deep sense of reverence in her voice, and it made him realize just how different their worlds were. It sounds amazing, Adam said. I wish I could see it for myself. Lyra smiled at him. Maybe one day you will, she said, her voice hopeful. They continued walking, their steps quiet on the soft ground. Adam felt a sense of comfort in the silence between them. There was no need for words. They understood each other now, in a way that went beyond language, beyond culture. They had built something real, something that could only come from mutual trust and respect. As they reached a small hill, Lyra stopped and turned to Adam. I've been thinking, she said, her voice serious. You know, back on Allura, when we form deep connections with others, we share something called the heartlight. It's a bond between two people, a way of showing that we are truly connected. Adam looked at her, intrigued. Heartlight? Lyra nodded. Yes, it's a gesture of trust, of friendship. Some people even share it with their partners. It's a bond that lasts a lifetime. Adam wasn't sure what to say. He wasn't sure if it was something that could apply to him and Lyra, but the way she looked at him, so vulnerable yet so strong, made him feel something deep inside. He had never felt this way about anyone before. I don't know if I'm ready for something like that, Adam said softly, but I do know that I want to be here for you. I want to be part of your world, and I want you to be part of mine. Lyra smiled, her eyes shining with emotion. I'm glad you said that, she whispered, because I feel the same way. They stood there for a moment, just looking at each other, their hearts full of emotions that words couldn't capture. The stars above seemed to shine a little brighter, as if the universe itself was smiling down on them. From that night forward, things between Adam and Lyra changed. They didn't need to rush into anything. They were content with the connection they had, the friendship that had slowly blossomed into something more. Adam knew that he had found someone truly special, someone who had taught him about the importance of trust, acceptance, and understanding. Lyra, too, had found someone who saw her for who she really was, not just as an alien, but as a person. For the first time in her life, she felt like she belonged, and as they stood there under the stars, Adam realized that their journey together had only just begun. The path ahead was uncertain, but with Lyra by his side, he knew that they could face anything the universe had in store.